Hey, happy day 546 of What You Up To Now, documenting the journey as a transition from the brick and mortar world of real businesses, corporate America, real businesses and real industries that are hardcore in the real world versus the online world, the online business world. I've been documenting that journey every day for 546 days now. Actually been working on it a little longer than that, but I wasn't documenting it. I wasn't keeping track of what I was doing. So I decided that I wanted to have an idea. I wanted to keep track of what's working, what's not, and share that with other people that are on a similar journey. Or even if you're not on a similar journey, sometimes it's fun to watch the horror that can be my life. It can be the mistakes I make and the things that I do, so that you don't make those mistakes as well. I was reading from a little book this morning called Everyday Success, Everyday Wisdom for Success from Wayne Dyer. I love Dr. Wayne Dyer. I guess he's passed away now. And the one I read today, I'm going to read to you because it got me to thinking about attachments and frustration. And another whole topic of suffering to get what you want and to have the life that you want. And I think that's complete and utter BS, and this is why. Wayne Dyer says, if you're attached to how things should be going, you're going to find suffering in your life. Now, I'm going to admit that I'm guilty of this. Suffering, to me, frustration is suffering, right? If I'm feeling frustrated, I'm suffering. I don't believe in suffering. I hate that word. I hate the word sacrifice and suffering. And people say that when you're going after something you want in life, you're going to have to sacrifice and suffer. And I think that's nonsense. You will have to make choices between alternatives. You'll have to choose what you want. You'll have to set the direction for your life. You'll have to go after what you want. But if I'm choosing something, I am not sacrificing. And suffering is 100% optional. I only suffer when I think things should be different than they are. I only suffer when I choose to feel hurt or resentment or jealousy or anger or fear or doubt or worry. But it's always my choice. I always get to decide, and it doesn't always feel like it, because sometimes as human beings, we all experience these feelings. We all go in and out of them. But it's always 100% our choice whether we're going to stay there or not. Do I get angry? Oh yeah, probably every day I get angry about something because I'm a rile-upable person. And I feel that anger, I just let it go. I'm like, okay, yep, that made me mad. That tripped my trigger. That was one of the things that you say or do that just drives me nuts, and that's okay. But I'm not going to stay there, and I'm not going to react and act on every emotion that I feel or I experience. We experience a plethora of emotions every single day, and it's up to us whether we're going to sit in those emotions for however long we want to sit in them. I have sat in different emotions for decades. I felt bad or upset or angry or fearful or doubt or worried about something. And what did that do for me? That just made me miserable. Did it make me feel good? No. Did it serve me because it moved me in the direction I wanted my life to go? No. That would be the definition of suffering, is wallowing in feelings and emotions that don't serve me. So I love this expression. I absolutely love it. I love that he said this, if you're attached to how things should be going, you're not, number one, paying attention to what is. And if we're not living in the present moment, which is the only time we can act, we're either dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. And I think the vast majority of us spend almost all of our time doing that instead of being present, instead of being here right now, thinking about what we want and choosing what we want in this moment and feeling good in this moment. We are living in the past and regretting things we did or didn't do or say. We are worried about the future. What will happen if this or that happens? And we're worrying about something that will probably never happen, because the vast majority of things we worry about or are fearful of never, ever, ever come to pass. A lot of it is because we let our fear stop us from ever doing or choosing or making choices that will move us toward what we want. So if we never make those choices or take any action, we sit right where we are, and the thing that we're afraid will happen never happens because we never even move toward what it is that we want. So the possibility of that fearful thing happening is pretty much zero. So suffering. Do you believe you have to suffer and sacrifice to have what you want? Weigh in the comments below. I would love to know, because I'm sure I have a different stance on this. I mean, if you read all of the business quotes and the life success quotes on things, how many of them involve sacrifice or suffering, or thinking that you have to make these great sacrifices or suffer in order to get what you want. The truth is, and I don't know if people tell you this or not, but you don't need to sacrifice or suffer at all. Suffering is 100% optional. Now, this is coming from someone who's had chronic pain and chronic illness and massive health challenges my entire life. Now, I will admit I spent a few years in my 20s not knowing better, suffering and sacrificing my entire life because I didn't know better. And then I learned that I do get a say in the direction my life goes. I do get to decide if I'm going to choose to be depressed or frustrated or angry or fearful. I get to choose that. And in that, taking back my personal power, that was everything. Understanding that I do have the ability to impact absolutely every aspect of my life, no matter what anybody outside of me says or does. That in and of itself gives me the knowledge that the best is always yet to come in my life. I will always find a way to figure stuff out. Do I have lots of challenges? Oh my God, I'm like the queen of challenges, but it's because I've had all these challenges that I know that I can figure it out. I can figure anything out. Now, it might take me a long time. Sometimes it takes me a couple of weeks, especially when it comes to technological things on the computer, because I'm older and things aren't necessarily intuitive and inherent in my understanding like they are in the younger kids, the new kids. I mean, if I have a computer question, I'm usually going to call one of my kids if I absolutely positively can't figure it out. I always try to figure it out myself, because every little victory I get like that builds my confidence, builds my self-esteem, and reinforces the knowledge that I can figure it out. There isn't anything on the planet that we can't figure out or learn how to do if we want to, right? If we want to. Now, I can hear people in their heads saying, that is absolutely positively not true. I can't figure out how to do X, Y, Z. Well, guess what? If you don't think you can, then you're not going to be able to, because you're never even going to try. We fail 100% of the time at things we don't try to do, right? We can guarantee our success or failure based on what we will or will not do. So attachment to the outcome, attachment to what should be already, is just an exercise in futility. It's an exercise in frustration. Now, I spent a lot of years being frustrated in my life because, and I didn't know this, it was because I was expecting things to be different than they were. Things are what they are, and it's my reaction to those things that matters the most, and mattered the most. I just didn't understand that back then. Now I know that no matter what happens, yeah, I'm still going to get frustrated. I'm still going to get tipped over by the ex-husband. I'm still going to get mad at my sisters or somebody sometimes. I'm still going to get mad at my kids sometimes. They're going to get mad at me. But it's how I react to that. It's how I choose to respond to that that really, really matters. And, you know, things like frustration and how attached and for how long I'm going to be attached or how long I'm going to stick with a different emotion, that's entirely up to me. I can wallow in self-pity I've been doing it for a long time about certain things in my life. I can continue to do that, or I can say, all right, well, you've given this enough of your attention and energy. Do you want to keep doing that? And more now, maybe because I'm getting older and I figure, you know, I only have so much time left. How long do I want to spend on that? How long do I want to feel bad about that situation? How long do I want to beat myself up because I said the wrong thing at a party? You know, apologize and move on. And know that what happens in the past, I can't change that. I can't do anything about that. I used to feel guilty about stuff from my past, stuff that no one on the planet would probably ever feel guilty about, but I did, right? You know, I didn't get enough resources in my imagination for a report or a paper I was doing. Seriously? How many do you need? Do you need 20? No. You know, the professor asked for 5 and I was feeling guilty because I didn't get 20. That is ridiculous, right? How many things do we have in our lives like that where we have worried about or fretted or felt bad about something and nobody else cared, right? How many times have we been in a relationship or a conversation or at a meeting or something where somebody said something that hurt our feelings, and then we come to find out and realize that they weren't even talking about us or they didn't even mean what we thought they meant? All of us do that, human nature. But all of us can learn about ourselves and learn about what works for us and what doesn't work for us, what makes us feel good and makes us feel bad. And I say, let's do more of what makes us feel good, and let's just start letting go of the stuff that makes us feel bad. It makes us feel bad for a reason. If it makes us feel bad, if it makes us feel like we're suffering or sacrificing, then we have to question, is this really something that I should be doing? Is this really right for me? And just because some coach or guru or your mom or your sisters or your kids or something tell you something is right for you doesn't mean it's right for you. Only you know if it's right for you or not. So instead of listening to everybody else on the planet or expecting them to make your decisions and choices for you, just do a gut check and ask yourself, how does this make me feel? How do I feel about keeping this book versus getting rid of it as I'm moving? How do I feel about doing something or moving somewhere versus somewhere else? It's entirely up to you. And it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks or feels. It matters how you think and feel about it. So honor yourself and remember that. Enough ranting. Let's talk about what's going on in the transition from the brick and mortar world to the online world. Online world 90-day challenge. Today is day 86. We're wrapping up the 90-day challenge, and I get so sad at the end of these challenges. Not because they're over, but because they're over. And I hope that everybody's gotten as much out of them as I have. For the most part, people do. You get out of everything what you put into it. So coming to the end of the challenge, day 86, we're talking about masterminds and how we can use masterminds to put our influence, our level of influence on steroids. Working on my move, of course. And again, that's part of this whole discussion about how things should be. I mean, I should be done moving already. I should have been done moving 6 years ago. And I actually laugh when one of my sisters is like, well, you should have done that 6 years ago. I'm like, yeah, should have, but I didn't for a whole bunch of reasons. And now I'm doing it. So please be quiet. Please stop talking. I don't want to hear your judgment about something I should have done 6 years ago. Not helpful, not valuable, just judgy and annoying, right? Oh, I could get mad, or I can just let it go in one ear and out the other. So working on the move, I know it's all consuming, and that's okay. It's like I make time for my coaching students. I make time for my consulting. I make time for my 4-year-old granddaughter. I am spending all the rest of my time, I create my content, and all the rest of my time is going toward this move. And you know what? In a week or so, it'll be done. I'll be settled. I will feel so much better in my next temporary location. And then you're going to hear me do it all over again. But it's going to be a much simpler process because I've already gotten rid of 90% of the stuff and the clutter and the things that I had in my life that I wasn't using and I didn't need anyway. So go out, make an absolutely fantastic day. If you need anything, hit me up in the comments, because I will admit I am not checking my email. I am not checking my social media for the most part. So if you have a question, if you have a concern, hit me up in the comments, and then I will probably tell you to DM me, direct message me, and we will chat. Or I'll probably tell you to Voxer me, because if you Voxer me, I can talk to you with the push of a button, and that's always my quickest, easiest, fastest way to respond. Go out and make it an awesome day. I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow. Bye.